And this is actually hilarious. If anybody saw, I actually did a clip from um the Am I Racist trailer, or not trailer. He released a trailer, but Matt Walsh also put out a secondary clip on X, I think X only. I mean, I could be wrong about that. He might have aired it on a show as well. And it was like a 3.5 minute clip, and you can find it on my channel. I reacted to it as well. And it was hilarious, right? So it was like a very, very uncomfortable sequence of him being in a like how to not be like an anti-racist struggle session kind of thing. And it's apparent that they obviously like begin to pick up on the fact that it's Matt Walsh, and so it gets very uncomfortable very fast. They called the police on him at this event. And so here's Libs of TikTok here. She says, breaking police report from when Matt Walsh went undercover for his Am I Racist movie. The anti-racist called the police on him when they realized who he was. One of them told the police she considered using a chair to break a window and escape because she felt unsafe in his presence and his extreme and radical views. You can't make this up. I'm joking you. I like about bust out laughing when I read that second line there in that paragraph. Like I was baffled. And it just goes to show just how weak minded everybody is. This isn't even just like a physicality aspect. This is like the mentality of the average person is so weak. I mean, how often do you see these instances of road rage on the road now? How many instances do you see of people who can't even be bothered to wait in line somewhere for longer than like 10 seconds without them like, getting angry and flipping out and raging out? And it's probably a combination of just being weak-willed, weakly convicted, but also being all of the social reinforcement you get is you should be entitled. Oh, you shouldn't have to wait in line, girl. Like that's your day. Like, oh, look, like stuff like that that kind of builds the super, super, super entitled mindset into people where like at the moment's notice, like if anything's not going perfect, it's like, woe is me. And it goes into these mental meltdowns. The fact that they called the police on this guy when he didn't commit a crime is insane. And I even said this on air too. Like that's why cops hate the average person. Is because there's too many Karens in too many cities and too many regions and too many districts. That because for the slightest inconvenience, they're calling 911, hogging up the emergency line, and having some guy drive all the way out just to write a report that reads something like this. And I'll put it on screen here. This is absurd. So imagine having to write all this, right? So he claims that he entered the event and he observed. And I don't know if he definitely didn't trespass. I know they probably set things up to avoid all of this stuff there. But to say that she wanted to throw a window out the chair here to break a window to escape is like, it's delirium. It's pure delusion. And it's if anything, it's just like at the most basic level, it's like you don't even know who Matt Walsh is. You have like you have a misunderstanding of who this guy is. Like Matt Walsh is not going to harm you. Maybe with words and your feelings possibly, but Matt Walsh is definitely not the guy who's going to, physically like harm you in any means. Like and this speaks to the fact of like, oh, every person wearing a MAGA hat is like this, ridiculous, hood wearing KKK white supremacist who's going to come out with torches. It's people who watch those movies like Get Out, and they think like Matt Walsh is just waiting for the chance to capture some black person and do some crazy stuff to him. It's like, okay, like you live in a movie, I guess, right? Like your ability to understand what the real world is so non-existent that we have to play into what your reality is, which is delusion, schizophrenia, even at that.